What if the secret to a longer, stronger, more vibrant life was never lost at all, but simply buried beneath centuries of forgetting, hidden in ancient texts, pressed between the pages of the oldest book ever written, grown in fields that no longer exist, whispered by healers whose names we will never know? Thousands of years ago, people who lived close to the earth understood something that most of us have completely forgot. They knew that the tiniest seed carried within it a power so profound, so deeply woven into the fabric of life itself, that it could slow the turning of time in the human body. What you are about to discover in the next 30 minutes may quietly change the way you live for the rest of your years. In this video, you will uncover 20 seeds, 20 sacred, ancient, and long-forgotten seeds that appear in biblical texts, ancestral medicine traditions, and the healing practices of cultures stretching back thousands of years. Each one carries its own story. Each one holds a gift that modern science is only now beginning to understand. Some of these seeds were pressed into the hands of prophets. Some were traded across desert caravans at prices equal to gold. Some grew wild along the paths where sandaled feet once walked. And the last one on our list, number 1, is the most astonishing of them all. It is a seed so ancient, so overlooked, so quietly powerful that when you hear what it does to the aging body, you will wonder how you ever lived without it. Welcome, dear friend. Welcome to this channel where we slow down, sit quietly with the old wisdom, and remember what our ancestors always knew. Before we begin, if this kind of knowledge speaks to your heart, if you believe that the old ways still have something sacred to teach us, then consider joining this growing family by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the bell so you never miss a single lesson. We are a community of people who still believe that the earth holds answers that no laboratory has yet surpassed. Now, let us begin. Number 20, black seed. There is a saying, ancient and oft repeated, that has survived every empire, every plague, every forgetting. It was recorded by scholars who walked the corridors of early Islamic medicine, and it echoes words attributed to the Prophet himself. Use the black seed, for it is a cure for every disease except death. Black seed, known botanically as Nigella sativa, was found pressed into the tomb of Tutankhamun. It was treasured by Egyptian pharaohs who believed it would carry its healing power into the next life. What this remarkable seed does to the aging body is nothing short of extraordinary. It contains a compound called thymoquinone. This compound has been studied extensively in recent decades, and what science now confirms is that it actively reduces inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is one of the primary engines of aging. It quietly wears down tissues, organs, and cells year after year. Black seed works to quiet that fire. It has also been shown to support the immune system, protect brain cells from oxidative damage, and help regulate blood sugar levels, 3 of the most critical factors in how gracefully a body ages. You can find black seed in most health food stores. It has a slightly bitter, peppery flavor. Many people grind a small amount into warm honey each morning. Others mix it into herbal teas or sprinkle it over their food. A little goes a long way. And what comes next reaches even further back into history, to a garden where healing first began. Number 19, coriander seed. In the book of Exodus, the ancient Israelites looked upon manna, the miraculous food that sustained them in the wilderness, and they described it as being like coriander seed. That single comparison tells us everything. Coriander was so familiar, so deeply woven into daily life, that it became the measuring stick for something sacred. For thousands of years, healers across the Middle East, India, and the Mediterranean used coriander seed to calm the body's internal storms. It was prescribed for digestive troubles, for fevers, and for the kind of deep, gnawing anxiety that hollows a person from the inside out. What science now confirms is that coriander seed contains powerful antioxidants that protect the body's cells from the kind of damage that accelerates aging. It also supports healthy blood sugar levels and has been shown to reduce levels of harmful cholesterol. Both of these functions are deeply connected to how quickly or slowly the body ages at the cellular level. Coriander seed is easy to find and inexpensive. Toast the seeds gently in a dry pan until they release their fragrance. Then grind them and add them to warm dishes, soups, or stews. The warming, citrusy aroma alone is a comfort to the spirit. But the next seed on our list was so prized in the ancient world that it was offered as a gift fit for royalty. Number 18, frankincense resin seed. Now, frankincense is most commonly known as a resin, but the Boswellia tree that produces it also yields seeds that have been used in traditional medicine across Arabia, India, and East Africa for thousands of years. The Magi carried frankincense to Bethlehem. Ancient Egyptian healers burned it in temples and pressed its oils into wounds. In Ayurvedic medicine, the resin and its seeds were used to treat arthritis, chronic pain, and failing memory. The active compound in frankincense, known as AKBA, has been studied for its ability to inhibit the enzymes responsible for inflammation in the joints and throughout the brain. For aging bodies, this is a gift of profound importance. Joint pain, brain fog, and stiffness are among the most common signs of aging. Frankincense seed and resin work gently against all 3. You can find Boswellia extract in capsule form in health stores, or seek out pure Boswellia resin from trusted herbalists. Steep small amounts in warm water to make a medicinal tea. The taste is earthy and slightly balsamic. Number 17 may be smaller in size, but in the ancient world it was worth more than silver. Number 17, mustard seed. He said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants. Those words from the book of Matthew were not only a parable about faith, they were also spoken about one of the most medicinally powerful seeds in the ancient world. Mustard seed has been used in Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Ayurvedic healing traditions for millennia. Its power lies in a compound called sinigrin, which the body converts into allyl isothiocyanate. This compound has been studied for its effects on cancer prevention, metabolic health, and the protection of the body's aging cells. Mustard seed also supports circulation, warming the blood and encouraging healthy flow through the body's many pathways. In traditional medicine, a warm mustard seed poultice was applied to stiff, aching joints to draw out inflammation and restore movement. Black mustard seeds are particularly potent. Crush them and add them to warm oils, foods, or teas. A single teaspoon of whole mustard seeds daily has been used for centuries as a general tonic for vitality. The next seed carries a scent so distinct, so warm and golden that it has perfumed temples, spice roots, and royal courts for 4,000 years. Number 16. Fenugreek seed. Fenugreek appears in ancient Egyptian medical papyri dating back to 1550 BC. It was used by Egyptian healers to treat fever and respiratory illness. Greek physicians prescribed it for digestive ailments and labor support. In the Talmud, fenugreek is mentioned as a food that strengthens the body during times of weakness. Hildegard of Bingen, the 12th century German mystic and healer, wrote extensively about its warming properties. What fenugreek seed does to the aging body is quietly remarkable. It contains compounds that mimic insulin in the body, helping to regulate blood sugar with a gentleness that prescription alternatives cannot match. It also raises levels of testosterone naturally in aging men, supports hormonal balance in women going through change, and reduces oxidative stress throughout the body's systems. Fenugreek seeds taste slightly bitter and maple sweet. Soak them overnight in water and drink the water each morning. Or grind the seeds into a fine powder and stir into warm milk with a touch of raw honey. The combination has been used for centuries as a restorative tonic for aging bodies. And now we move to a seed that appears in one of the oldest pharmacopoeias ever written. Number 15. Flaxseed. Flax was cultivated along the banks of the Nile and throughout ancient Israel and Mesopotamia long before recorded history. The linen woven from flax fibers was so valued that it clothed both kings and the dead. But the seed itself was the real treasure. Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, prescribed flaxseed for abdominal pain and inflammation. The ancient Romans consumed it daily for endurance. And what our ancestors always knew, science now confirms with great enthusiasm. Flaxseed is the richest plant source on Earth of omega-3 fatty acids and lignans. Lignans are compounds that protect the body from hormone-driven diseases and significantly reduce inflammation at the cellular level. The omega-3s in flaxseed nourish the brain, protect the heart, and keep the body's joints moving with the ease of youth. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed each day is one of the simplest, most ancient gifts you can give your aging body. Grind the seeds fresh. The nutrients escape quickly once exposed to air. Stir in oatmeal, soups, smoothies, or warm water. The flavor is mild and nutty. At this point, dear friend, we are halfway through our list. The next 10 seeds are even more powerful, even more deeply buried in time. And number 1, that final, most astonishing seed, is drawing closer with each one we uncover. Number 14. Pomegranate seed. The pomegranate appears more times in the ancient scriptures than nearly any other fruit. It was carved into the pillars of Solomon's temple. It was embroidered onto the robes of the high priest. In the Song of Solomon, it is spoken of as a symbol of abundance, beauty, and renewed life. The ancient Persians called it the fruit of paradise, and they were not wrong. Inside each pomegranate are hundreds of jeweled seeds, each one containing a compound called punicalagin. Punicalagin is one of the most potent antioxidants ever discovered in a plant food. It converts in the body to urolithin A, a compound that has been shown in recent research to trigger a process called mitophagy, the body's own system for clearing out old, damaged cells and making room for new, healthy ones. This is the closest thing the natural world has to a biological reset for aging tissue. Eat the seeds whole, press them into fresh juice, or seek out pomegranate seed oil, which can be applied to aging skin to visibly restore its glow. The next seed was carried in silk pouches by ancient traders who knew its worth better than we do today. Number 13. Sesame seed. Sesame is one of the oldest cultivated seeds in human history, grown in the Indus Valley more than 5,000 years ago. In ancient Babylon, it was believed to be the food of the gods who created the earth. In the Ayurvedic tradition, sesame is called the queen of oilseeds, and is revered as one of the most life-extending foods known to mankind. Egyptian medical texts prescribe sesame for inflammation, joint pain, and the weakening of sight. And what this tiny, glistening seed does to the aging body is deeply beautiful. Sesame seeds are rich in sesamin and sesamolin, compounds that protect the liver from oxidative damage, reduce blood pressure, and extend the life of vitamin E in the body, keeping the skin, eyes, and cells nourished long after other nutrients have been depleted. They are also one of the richest plant sources of calcium, essential for protecting aging bones. Toast sesame seeds lightly and sprinkle them freely. Use sesame oil for cooking and dressing food. Tahini ground sesame paste is a daily staple in some of the longest-lived communities on Earth. Number 12 was once hidden away in the secret gardens of the ancient world and is only now being rediscovered by modern medicine. Number 12. Nigella, black seed of the East. Hemp seed. In the ancient world, hemp was not a product of controversy. It was a medicine. Seeds of cannabis sativa were found in ancient Chinese tombs and in the medical texts of the Yellow Emperor dating back to 2700 BC. The plant traveled along the Silk Road, appearing in ancient Persian, Indian, and Middle Eastern healing traditions. It was used to treat pain, wasting illness, and aging joints. Seed, not the leaf or flower, but the seed itself, is remarkable in its own right. Hemp seed contains a perfect ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids, a balance that modern diets rarely achieve. This balance is critical for reducing the inflammation that drives aging, heart disease, and cognitive decline. Hemp seeds are also rich in gamma-linolenic acid, which helps regulate the hormones that govern how quickly the body ages. Sprinkle hemp seeds over salads, soups, and grains. They have a mild, slightly nutty flavor. 3 tablespoons a day provides more than enough to measurably shift the body's inflammatory landscape. And number 11 is a seed that once grew wild along the roads where Jesus himself walked. Number 11. Caraway seed. Caraway has been found in Mesolithic archaeological sites in Europe, making it one of the oldest cultivated plants in human history. Ancient Egyptians placed caraway in their tombs to protect the deceased on their journey. Dioscorides, the ancient Greek physician, prescribed it for pale, weakened young women to restore their color and energy. In medieval European herbalism, caraway was the seed most commonly prescribed for what healers then called wasting, the slow loss of vitality and flesh that came with age and illness. Caraway seed contains carvin and limonene, compounds that protect the digestive system, support healthy liver function, and reduce the kind of oxidative damage that makes cells age before their time. A healthy liver and healthy digestion are 2 of the most foundational pillars of graceful, long aging. When the body cannot properly process and eliminate, it becomes a field of accumulated damage. Caraway gently sweeps that field clean. Steep caraway seeds in boiling water for 10 minutes. Strain and drink as a warm tea after meals. The flavor is warm, slightly sweet, and deeply comforting. Now, if you have walked with us this far, you are among the faithful few. And before we continue, if this journey through ancient wisdom is speaking something true to your heart, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone you love, because the next 10 seeds are the most powerful of all. Number 10. Dill seed. Dill is mentioned by name in the book of Matthew. The Pharisees, we are told, were careful to tithe even their dill. So valued was this humble herb that it was considered worthy of religious offering. In ancient Egypt, dill was grown in the gardens of the great estates and used medicinally to calm the nervous system, soothe the stomach, and help the body sleep deeply. Sleep, our ancestors understood, is not a luxury. It is the time when the body repairs itself, when the brain clears its debris, when the heart rests and the cells rebuild. Dill seed contains compounds that work as natural calming agents on the central nervous system. They reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that, when chronically elevated, ages the body faster than almost any other force in nature. Dill seed also supports the liver and has been shown in modern studies to have measurable effects on blood sugar regulation. Steep a teaspoon of whole dill seeds in hot water. Drink slowly in the evening. Let the body settle into the quiet it was built for. The next seed was once called the king's medicine in the courts of ancient Persia. Number 9. Cumin seed. Cumin appears in the book of Isaiah, where the prophet describes farmers carefully beating it out with a rod, a gentle harvesting for a seed that bruises easily. It was found in ancient Egyptian tombs. It traveled the spice routes of the ancient world and was so valued in medieval Europe that landlords accepted it as payment for rent. What cumin does in the aging body is both practical and profound. It activates digestive enzymes that decline with age. As the years pass, the body produces fewer of these enzymes, and the result is food that sits undigested, nutrients that go unabsorbed, and a slow, quiet starvation of the cells that need those nutrients most. Cumin reawakens that process. It also has measurable effects on blood lipids, reducing harmful cholesterol and protecting the cardiovascular system that carries life through every inch of the body. Toast whole cumin seeds in a dry pan until they pop and release their fragrance. Add them to soups, grains, and roasted vegetables, or steep them in hot water and drink as a restorative tea. Number 8 is one that even most herbalists today have long forgot. Number 8. Hyssop seed. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean, wrote the psalmist. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Hyssop is woven through scripture like a golden thread. It was used in purification rituals. It was tied in bundles and used to mark doorposts during the first Passover. It was offered to Jesus on the cross. And in the healing traditions that surrounded these scriptures, hyssop was an herb of deep physical and spiritual cleansing. Seeds and leaves contain a volatile oil called pinicamphone, which has powerful expectorant and antimicrobial properties. But perhaps most relevant to aging is hyssop's long reputation as a respiratory tonic. As we age, the lungs lose their elasticity. Their capacity shrinks. The ancient healers understood that the breath is the most fundamental expression of life force. Hyssop was used to keep that breath full and free. Make a tea from hyssop seeds and dried herb. Steep for 15 minutes under a covered lid to keep the volatile oils from escaping. Drink slowly, breathing in the steam as you do. The next seed was traded for more than its weight in gold along the ancient spice roads. Number 7. Aniseed. Matthew chapter 23. Jesus speaks of the Pharisees who tithe mint, dill, and cumin, and though anise is sometimes translated here, its presence in the ancient world was so constant, so assumed, that its absence from the text is itself telling. Anise was the background hum of ancient life. It was used in Roman wedding cakes to aid digestion after great feasting. It was prescribed by Hippocrates for coughs and respiratory weakness. In ancient Egypt, it was burned in temples for its calming, clarifying fragrance. What anise seed does for the aging body touches on something few people speak of openly: the slow, grinding fatigue of accumulated years. Anise contains anethole, a compound that calms the nervous system, supports hormonal balance as estrogen and testosterone decline, and has measurable anti-inflammatory effects on the body's aging tissues. It also supports the lungs, the digestive tract, and the adrenal glands, the small but mighty organs that govern our response to stress. Steep a teaspoon of anise seeds in hot water for 10 minutes. The flavor is sweet, like licorice and starlight. Drink it in the quiet hours of morning or evening. And number 6 is the most mysterious seed on this list, hidden in plain sight for centuries. Number 6, saffron seed and crocus. The Song of Solomon speaks of saffron alongside nard, henna, and myrrh, placing it among the most precious gifts one could offer a beloved. In ancient Persia and the early Islamic world, saffron was used not only as a spice but as a medicine for sadness, for the grief that comes with age, for the dimming of memory, and for the slow withdrawal of joy that sometimes accompanies long years. What science now confirms is that saffron contains crocin and saffronol, compounds that protect the brain's neurons from oxidative damage, increase serotonin availability in the brain, and have been shown in clinical studies to measurably improve both memory and mood in aging adults. The brain, too, ages, and saffron is one of its most ancient protectors. A few strands steeped in warm water or warm milk create the golden drink of kings. Do not add too much, saffron is potent. A pinch is enough. A pinch has always been enough. Number 5 is now approaching, and I want to remind you, number 1, the final seed on this list, is unlike anything else we have discussed today. It is the seed that ties every thread together. Hold on just a little longer. Number 5, aloe vera seed. Aloe vera appears in Egyptian medical texts from 1550 BC. It was grown in the gardens of ancient Israel and along the trade routes of the ancient world. The Egyptians called it the plant of immortality and offered it at the burials of pharaohs. Nicodemus brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes for the preparation of Jesus' body. The aloe spoken of in that passage was used across the ancient world for preservation, for keeping what is precious from the decay of time. And that, in essence, is what it does for the living body. Aloe vera seeds and gel contain over 75 bioactive compounds, including vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and polysaccharides that protect the skin, soothe the gut, and reduce systemic inflammation. The polysaccharides in aloe are among the most potent immune modulators found in any plant. Grow aloe at home. The plant thrives with very little care. Break a leaf and apply the clear gel directly to aging skin. Drink aloe vera juice, pure, without preservatives, to soothe the gut lining that aging disrupts. Number 4 lived through the great biblical floods and was the first green thing to return. Number 4 olive seed. When the waters of the great flood receded, the dove returned to Noah with an olive branch in its beak. That single image, chosen above all others, tells us what our ancestors believed about the olive tree. It was the tree of peace, the tree of endurance, the tree of life that survives when all else fails. The olive seed and the oil pressed from its fruit have nourished the peoples of the Mediterranean for 8,000 years. And those peoples, it bears noting, live longer and age more gracefully than almost any other population on Earth. The olive seed contains squalene, a compound that protects cellular membranes from oxidative damage. It contains hydroxytyrosol, one of the most powerful antioxidants found in nature. And it contains oleuropein, which has been shown to activate longevity genes in human cells. These are not poetic metaphors. These are measurable biological realities. Eat whole olives. Use cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil daily. Seek out olive leaf extract for a concentrated dose of oleuropein's longevity effects. Number 3 is one that no grandmother of the ancient world would have lived without. Number 3, coriander and fennel seed together. There is an ancient tradition, long forgotten in modern kitchens, of combining certain seeds together to multiply their healing power. The ancient healers of Egypt, Greece, and the Arab world understood something that modern nutritional science is only now beginning to verify: synergy. The sum is more powerful than the parts. Fennel seed appears throughout ancient Ayurvedic texts and in the writings of the Roman naturalist Pliny, who claimed that serpents ate fennel to sharpen their sight after shedding their skin. Fennel and coriander together create one of the oldest digestive tonics in human history. They calm inflammation in the gut, support the liver's detoxification pathways, and promote healthy hormonal balance as the body ages. The gut, our ancestors understood, is the root of all health. When it is well, the rest of the body follows. When it fails, everything fails with it. Toast fennel and coriander seeds together in equal parts. Grind them. Steep a teaspoon of the blend in hot water after each meal. The flavor is warm, sweet, and deeply nourishing. The ancient formula is simple. The results are profound. Number 2 is one that scholars believe grew in the very Garden of Eden itself. Number 2, turmeric seed and root. In the ancient texts of Ayurveda, turmeric is called the golden healer. In early Sanskrit writings, it is described as a plant with the power to purify the body, cleanse the spirit, and restore the vitality of those who have grown old before their time. Turmeric appears in the trade records of the ancient Assyrian Empire, 600 BC. It was traded along the same routes as gold and frankincense. In traditional Chinese medicine, it has been used for more than 2,000 years to move what is stuck, to dissolve stagnation in blood, tissue, and spirit. What it contains, curcumin, has been studied in more than 15,000 peer-reviewed scientific papers. What science now confirms is that curcumin inhibits the primary inflammatory pathways that drive every major age-related disease known to medicine. It protects the aging brain. It reduces joint inflammation. It supports the cardiovascular system. It activates the body's own antioxidant enzymes, and it has been shown to switch on longevity genes at the deepest level of human biology. Combine turmeric with black pepper to increase its absorption by up to 2,000%. Add it to warm golden milk each evening, warm milk or plant milk, turmeric, black pepper, and honey. This is a drink with thousands of years of memory in it, and now, dear friend, we have arrived. The one we have been building toward, the seed that changes how you see everything. Number 1, the seed of intention. Grape seed. From the very beginning, the vine was sacred. Noah planted a vineyard as his first act after the flood. The promised land was described as flowing with milk and honey, and grapes the size of a man's arm. Jesus compared himself to the vine and his followers to the branches. For millennia, the grape was the symbol of abundance, of divine provision, of the goodness of the earth. And within every grape, within the tiny cluster of seeds that most people spit out and discard, lives one of the most potent anti-aging compounds in all of nature. Grape seed extract contains proanthocyanidins, a class of antioxidants more powerful than vitamin C or vitamin E by factors that modern measurement can barely contain. These compounds do something that few substances in nature can do. They cross the blood-brain barrier. They neutralize free radicals not only in the blood, not only in the organs, but inside the brain itself, protecting the neurons that hold memory, personality, and the living record of everything you have ever known and loved. Grape seed extract also strengthens the collagen matrix throughout the body. Collagen is what keeps skin supple, joints cushioned, blood vessels flexible, and the body's architecture strong. As we age, collagen breaks down. Grape seed extract slows that breakdown. It rebuilds what has been lost. It protects the heart by strengthening the walls of the arteries. It supports the liver in its lifelong work of purification. It reduces inflammation throughout every system. And in one of the most astonishing findings of recent decades, certain compounds in grape seeds have been shown to selectively clear senescent cells, the old worn-out cells that accumulate in aging tissue and release inflammatory signals that poison everything around them. Our ancestors did not have microscopes. They did not have the language of biology, but they knew. They pressed the grape. They kept the seeds. They planted the vine year after year and passed the knowledge forward to whoever had the ears to receive it. Seek out a high-quality grape seed extract supplement, or dry and grind grape seeds yourself and add a small amount to your foods. Eat the whole grape, skin and all, as often as you can. This is the seed that ties every thread together. This is the one our ancestors always knew was at the center of life. 20 seeds, 20 small, quiet, often overlooked gifts from the earth, each with a story older than any living memory, each with a power that our grandmothers' grandmothers understood without any laboratory to explain it. There is something humbling about this, is there not? We live in an age of extraordinary intelligence, of machines and medicines and measurements that would have seemed miraculous to the ancient world. Yet here we are, rediscovering what was written in an old book, pressed into the soil of a desert garden, carried across mountains in silk pouches, ground into paste by hands that have long since turned to dust. Our ancestors were not primitive. They were paying attention. They watched the earth with the kind of slow, reverent attention that our busy world has nearly lost. They noticed what healed. They noticed what hurt. They noticed what made a person strong into their 7th and 8th decade of life. And they wrote it down, in recipes passed from mother to daughter, in texts copied by candlelight in ancient libraries, in parables told by men who walked the dusty roads of a holy and ancient land. The lesson of these 20 seeds is not complicated. It is this: the earth was given to us not only as a home but as a medicine. And when we return to it, when we slow down, pay attention, and receive its gifts with gratitude, it still provides. Remember this: the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. That was written thousands of years ago. It is still true today. Now, dear friend, I would love to hear from you. Of these 20 sacred seeds, which one surprised you most? Which one are you already using? Which one are you going to seek out this week? Tell me in the comments below. Every answer matters, and I read each one. Until then, tend to your body as you would tend a garden, with patience, with intention, with trust in what the ancient earth still knows. Until next time, stay rooted.